Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie, and I'm the Crafty Counselor. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. If you've been here before, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be in full desktop mode, and I'm going to take you step by step into understanding Cricut Design Space. This is a very basic video or a refresher for someone who's been using Cricut Design Space. Now, at the end of this video, if this content has interested you, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, and subscribe to my channel. Now, without further ado, let's hop on into desktop mode so I can show you step by step what Cricut Design Space is all about. So once you open up Cricut Design Space and you are on the Home tab, what you can see is over here, this is what you'll see. Hi Natalie, what do you want to make? So you can type in here if you want to design a t-shirt, you want to, do something. These are just some things that I've done. You can also select one of these options. Where you can do a vinyl decal, iron-on transfer, gift tag, or just have a simple blank canvas where you will create what you want to make. As we scroll down in the center, this gives you just some news and information about Cricut. What's trending, you can shop some of their products and accessories, some new things that have come out this week, and just a bunch of information and things like that that you can look into. Then as we scroll down, this will give us some images. Now these images are going to be just designs that you can utilize. For me, these are things that I might have either looked up and also suggestions from Cricut. And you can scroll through those. If there's anything that you want to use in your design, you can use. And that X is where you would add it to your canvas or save the design. Down here, where it says projects for you, you'll see just different designs that you can automatically use. So for instance, this one here that says Mama, this is one that's pretty much trending right now. So if we clicked on it, this is how it comes up. We get to see an image of it. We see just what is involved with this design, who the designer is, some tips and tricks. It gives you the details of it. What font did they use? That is here. And then it goes on to show you just project tags. You can buy materials that are being used here. But I want to draw your attention to right here, where it says edit a copy or make it. This will let you know that you can customize the design here by editing a copy, which would then take you directly to the canvas, which I will talk to you about in a bit. Make it, you don't do anything. It just takes you straight to the ability to cut it out with your Cricut machine. Okay. We'll come into this a little bit more later on. So let's go back to where we were, back to the home screen. Okay. So now it's going to show you some things that are new at Cricut. And that's what that next line was. And all of the rest that's in the center here are different designs, fonts, all different things that you can use in your project. Okay. Little sayings, things like that. So now let's go over to the left. So discover is sort of what we're looking at here. Discover what is all about in Cricut. My stuff is where when you create a design and you save it, you can access your stuff right here from my stuff. Cricut Access, and this is important because some designs are not free, while to use Cricut Design Space is free. Some of the designs within Cricut Design Space are not. How you know you're going to use a design that is Cricut Access eligible is here. I'm going to draw your attention back to the center for it. Draw your attention back to the center. If we look at this design here, I'm going to pull it up. Actually, we're going to go back to the mama so that you can see that. So that design is that. Okay. So remember when we went to this design, if you notice right here, this A here indicates Cricut Access. I subscribe to Cricut Access, so over here it's going to say subscribed. Because you're new and you may not be subscribed to Cricut Access, yours would have the price that it is to download or use this design. Make sense? You don't, the designs, many of the designs are not free. If you weren't subscribed and this was not free, it would tell you the price that it cost you to utilize this design. Okay. I am subscribed. So for me, I can download this, create, I can cut it out, I can edit a copy, and it's not going to cost me anything because I'm paying a monthly subscription fee. Okay. And that's what Cricut Access is. Then there's a heat guide. The heat guide is if you were using Cricut brand of heat elements. So you have an easy press, they have a mug press, they have a mini press, and they have a hat press as well as a standard heat press. If you were using Cricut's items to heat, you could use this guide. And then there's a shop button. Okay, so that's just basically your home screen. Now, let's go over to where on the top here, the left side, it says Canvas. So once we click on Canvas, this is our blank canvas. And I have turned off the grid. So when you see the canvas, it may look like this. So all I did to get rid of these lines was click right here between the two zeros. This little square right here. If you click it several times, it takes you through different screens. I like to use between this screen and the blank screen. Okay. The new here is when you want to start a new project. Okay. So if I were starting a new project, I would just click here. You tend to use that if you were working on a project and it's still on your screen, but now you're like, okay, I'm done with this. I saved it already, and now I want a new project. You could come right here and just click on new. Templates are just that, templates. They do not cut out when you finish your project, but they help to give you an idea of one, how your project would look on a item, and it helps with sizing. So for instance, if you clicked on the t-shirt one and you chose your t-shirt, let's go with an adult large. It puts the template on your canvas. You can close it by clicking this button here. It closes that template out and it brings you back to your main screen. So now if I'm designing a t-shirt, I can look at where I want to place my item or my design and how it might look on the t-shirt or for sizing purposes. Cricut has put these grid lines to say, okay, this is around the standard size you might want for a t-shirt. But you'll notice on the different size templates that the t-shirt's grid here, this grid box, will change based on the size of the t-shirt. They give you a little design here if you're just putting a logo on a pocket or you want to just put a design on a pocket. And then this side is if you wanted to put a design on the back of a t-shirt. So it's not going to cut out. It's just showing you how your design would look. Now, if you want to put that away temporarily while you're designing, over here on the right side, which is your layers panel, you could turn it off. So for our purposes now, I'm actually going to turn it off. Okay? And we'll come back to it. Cricut has given you another opportunity to look at different projects that you can use. So let's click on that. And then you can either type in the type of project you want to do, or you can scroll through. And again, they give you a chance to look at items you have bookmarked or saved, or another chance for you to look through the things that you have created. Okay, that's bookmarking. To close any of these little side windows, you're always going to click on this little arrow here. And that closes it back, giving you the full canvas. All right, so now if you wanted to use a shape, you would click on Shapes. Side window opens, and it shows you all the shapes that you can utilize from Cricut. Okay, these are the free ones, and then it has broken it down. So if you had Cricut Access, you could use all of these for free. They're included with your subscription. Okay, free, paid subscription. Images. These are pictures that you can use. And they're not necessarily, I guess you could filter it by free if you were using the free version of Cricut Access. Right. Now these are all the free images that you could use, which also includes some shapes, all the free ones. It's helpful to give you the options that you have available. If you're just doing a basic cut and you wanted to just have cut images, you would click on free and cut. And that would give you all of the projects, all of the images that are here for you to use. So that's how you can use that. And again, you can keep drilling down the filters as you need. And then if you finish with the filters, you can clear all. And if you are using that Cricut Access, then you have access to everything. Close it out. And then text. This is if you just want to write a text. So I clicked on text. It gives me this text box. Of course, that's small and we want to resize it. So we would come over here Actually, we'll go over here to the size and we'll make it bigger. Just so that we can see it better. We'll move it over to the center and we'll make it bigger. Okay. So I went here to increase the size, and then I went to the little arrow here to just make it bigger. Now, right now, the percentage that this is at 17%. I can make the view bigger so that you'll see it bigger, which I could have also done with when it first came onto the screen, but I like to resize it, okay, because I'm going to resize it anyway to see it. So here you can utilize your text. You can change your font style here. So we'll click on this arrow and we'll see all the fonts that are available. Now, a couple of things you want to notice. Up here at the top are options for fonts. Cricut fonts are going to be free fonts and Cricut Access fonts that you can use. System fonts are the fonts that are on your computer. You can add fonts to your computer by downloading them from different programs, but that is what system font is. That is the fonts that are on your computer. Recent fonts will be recent fonts that you have used. And then bookmarked fonts are the ones that you have bookmarked. So we're going to go back to Cricut for a second. If you see this little A here on a font that you might choose, that is a font that is used with Cricut Access. So if you don't have Cricut Access and you use that font, you will have to pay for it. All fonts that are free do not have that. And again, it gives you that option to filter. All right. So we could go here, click on free. So if you're using the free version, you click on free, and now you have all the fonts that Cricut has that are free. So you can see that there are a lot of fonts that are free. You get a large amount. So you don't, if you're not ready to buy the subscription, you could just click on that filter and use all the free fonts. And you can drill down even more here and get more details about your fonts if you want to. Okay, and that's the font. Again, you can close it. So let's change our font to something different. Let's go with BFS Flora, which is a free font. So now you can see your font has changed. If you want to change your word, which of course you would want to, you double click the text and then just start typing. Okay. Then you can close this out and you can then resize by either clicking here and bringing it down to a usable style. But remember, we have our t-shirt here. So we're going to open back up our t-shirt and we're going to position it so we can see. And then we're going to grab our design, our word love, and we're going to scale it down so that it fits within our little template here. And I know it looks small. Well, that's because we have our magnifier here down to 20%. We could make it bigger so you can see it in the actual real time, right? So this is at 50%. Part of the reason that I don't do that is it doesn't really allow you to see the whole entire image or screen, the whole screen, so you may not be able to see it. So if you keep it between 15 and 20%, then you'll be able to see the whole thing. But in this case, you could leave it, bring it down, and now you can position your love to fit where you want it to fit. So now we've got that perfectly inside that grid that I was sharing with you. Let's lower it down to 25%. And so this kind of gives you an idea of what your t-shirt would look like. But let's say you don't want the love to be this color. You could come right up here, which we'll get into these things as well, and you could change your color. Okay, but let's keep going down on the left side. We've covered new, we've covered templates, we've covered projects, we've covered shapes, images, and text. And now Cricut has given you the ability to create a monogram if you wanted to. You would just click on it and do that. Now you can also upload designs. Let's say you've wanted to upload a picture because you are going to do something with a picture. You can upload your images here. Over across the top is you could name your project once you've saved it. And then you would have ability to save. You have, again, another chance for you to look at the things that you've made, your stuff. This here shows what Cricut machine you have chosen as the machine you have. I use the Cricut Explore Air 2, and so this is saying here that I'm part of the Explore family, and then this over here will give me the ability to just make my design. Over here is just your profiles, settings and things like that. This is for notifications. You can get some help from Cricut, and then you have the three dots where you can click on File, New Window, where you can click Cricut Design Space, and then you can do your views where if you want to force reload, or toggle from full screen amount. That's what's on the top. Here we have your undo, redo buttons. You have your place for your operations. So this is right now our love that we've typed is a basic cut. Your options are cutting it, drawing. So you can use a pen or Cricut marker, Cricut pen. You can use a foil machine tool. That's a tool that's separate for foil because that's different. A score, a stylus, where it allows you to put scoring in. Then you have Cricut Print and Cut, where you would create your design, print it, and then put it down for Cricut to cut it out. And then this is just your guide. This would allow you to select all. So you're selecting all of your design. You're going to edit here, and you would click on edit, and then it gives you the options to either cut, copy, duplicate, delete. Okay. Aligning your project, if you had multiple items, would give you that option to align it center, horizontal center, things like that. Arrange gives you the ability to bring it to the front, send it to the back, group, and ungroup. Right now my words are grouped, but if I wanted to change out one individual letter, then I could click ungroup and then change that individual letter. To flip would be flip horizontal or flip vertical. Now an offset is just an outline that would go around your project. So if you look back down at our word love, if I change this to a higher amount, I'm going to have a big line around my word, which would give me the offset to make it either bigger, bolder, Then Cricut has now created the option for you to be able to create stickers with out of your design. So I could take this love and make it into a sticker by using this create sticker option. Warp gives you the chance to warp your design. So we're going to check it out, and it gives you all of these options. If you want to make curves, um, different shapes, in which way you want your words to be. Again, here would be to design, change your size of your font. It's called sort of the, not the shape size of your font, it's the size of the entire object. Rotate gives you to change it 90 degrees, 360 degrees, however you want to rotate it. The more option gives you just showing you where the position is. Here is where you would change your font. Remember, you click on here, and then you get right to that same panel that you did before, changing the font. The style is it going to be regular or writing? So right now we have it on regular. If we changed it to writing, it gives us sort of like an outline, because the writing is when you're going to use the pen. So if you've noticed, I clicked on writing and then the operation changed to pen. You're not going to use writing and cut because it won't do that. It's writing and pen. So if I take this back to regular, it changes the operation back to a cut. Here is where you would change your font size. So this is project size, this is font size. If I wanted my letters to be a little spaced out, I would change here, and it spaces it out a little bit so it's not so bunched together. Line spacing is if you were going to have multiple items and you wanted space between each line. And then alignment is you want it to the left, center, right, top, bottom. Right now my wrap is off. If I wanted to wrap it, I could put it on. And then if you wanted to curve your project, you would click on that and it will show you can curve it. And as you can see, it's curving based off of the number that I've given. And if you wanted to undo that, you could just take it back to the center. Okay. And then there's a few advanced features that Cricut has. It's not very many, but you know, it's option for you. And that's to ungroup the letters, group the lines, and group your layers. Okay. Over on your right side, this is your layers panel. This is going to show you everything that you have on your screen. So right now on my screen, I have my love design, and I have the template that we put on for the t-shirt. Each item gives you the opportunity to hide or unhide. Okay. You can group or ungroup with this. You can duplicate with this, and then you can delete the object that you are highlighted on your layers panel. Then it also gives you the chance to sync your colors. Right now, everything I have, of course, is black. But if I had something that several items and different items were black, I could group together, sync all of my black items so they were together on the panel. Okay, so you are kind of going to hang out over here in the layers panel, and you'll always be checking that for things that you want to do. Then if we go down on that same layers panel side, you have the background color, which is just the color of your background. So right now mine's is set to white, but I can change that color. Let's say I wanted a black background because I wanted something to pop more, or I wanted green because I wanted to see how it would stand out. That's for the background. Leave it at white. combine, which would be if you had multiple items and you wanted them to cut as one item, you could weld it, you can unite. And we'll get into that in a separate video where I will take you through welding, uniting, subtracting, intersecting, and exclude. I'll take you through all of that in a separate video. When you're ready to make your design and you want it to cut out exactly as you have it, you're going to hit attach. If you didn't attach it and it wasn't grouped, when you went to hit attach, it would just come out as letters on the page. So it might come out EVOL, it might come out OVLE, and you would then have to lay it out once it's cut. But by attaching it, it attaches to the mat exactly how it appears on the screen. And then to flatten would be if you had more than one design and you wanted it to link together and just be one object. You would flatten it, and that would bring it together, merges it together into from multiple layers to one layer. And that is the simple outline of Cricut Design Space, and just the basics on what each item or what each thing does that allows you to create your projects. So in our next video, we will dive a little deeper into each item and we will make a first design.
Well, I hope that wasn't too complicated and you now have a little better understanding of Cricut Design Space. If you'd like to see another video that I've done in Cricut Design Space, please click this video here. Or if you want to see me take this plain black mug and turn it into something beautiful, click the video here. And be sure you have subscribed to my channel. Do that by clicking this right here. Until next time, have a crafty day.